Hello and welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I hope you're all doing well. Sorry for the wait. It's taking me longer than usual today. I hope you're all doing okay. Thank you for waiting. I think the light is not quite right. I don't know. What's the light right? Right light. Right lighting is very important actually when it comes to photos. And then now there's a shadow. So still a shadow. Yeah. Merging shadow and light. How isn't that? I love how everything speaks to us. I guess that's the overarching theme of Ascension. It's not getting rid and torturing, not torturing. The shadow is torturing us, or we're letting the shadow torture us, which is the mind, the distorted mind patterns and lower thought forms and beliefs that we no longer need. Like this light. Let's get rid of. It's not shadow and light. This should be better. Yeah, that's more merged, isn't it? Okay, we're getting there. Getting there. One day I will have very, very soon, any moment now, a very beautiful background and surrounding in a beautiful oasis. And we all, that's what we're here for today. Now, I know it's been intense, and you know me, we came here to make it happen because this is not happening by itself, quite frankly, ultimately. When we fully surrender to Source and Divine Will, our ego gets literally pushed out of the way and we are in service to all. When we're in service to all, it's very little about what our ego wants. Like tonight, before even like announcing the video, I'm like, should I do the video? Should I not do a video? I'm like, okay, I'm pretty tired because I think we're all tired and didn't even have a shower today. So anyway, hi from Scotland. Oh my God, yeah, my condolences. So we'll talk about a few things today. Tired. So much going on in all levels of existence. It's all dandy, so to say. I actually have a little, you know how things chip off the ceiling, or at least where I live. And there's actually a little thumb today that I noticed that wasn't there before, which is fun. So we're all good. Hands up. Everything is speaking to us in our hologram. Okay. So let us remember we are dreaming all of this. We are projecting all of this. This is, when we say it's not real, it's as real as we want to make it, or as in, yes, we need to experience this. So it is real to that sense and purpose. So we're not discounting reality and what we're feeling here, but we need to transcend the holographic inserts, which is what is dissolving right now. So, and holographic inserts and the holographic overlays and implants, so we have this in our own field in the planetary body, is what equals false memories. So these are the fallen timelines, basically, and they're all fully dissolving. I think so far, I mean, I'm not tuned into the mainstream in general, but I think we're going good so far. Yeah, for many, it's still 9/11. And we've been busily dissolving all these fallen timelines and matrices and associated thought forms, belief systems. That is what ultimately has created the artificial matrix, which is based on false perceptions and projections. And that all ties in with the holographic inserts and implants and overlays. And that's what we're here to fully dissolve all these limiting beliefs that are still telling us or showing us this reality, because we're here to project a whole new reality into this hologram. And that's what we're here to do, because it doesn't just happen by itself. Okay. So it's a lot of imagination. It's us aligning fully with all we have with this organic ascension reality, the organic creatrix field that is available and online now, the new crystalline operating system, our DNA coming fully online. It's all locked in, beautiful people, souls, buttercups. Okay. So let's ignite this, rise ever further. We are the rainbow tribes. We are the 12 plus 1 S1 rainbow tribes. And that goes out to 144. Everybody is part of this, okay? Ultimately, one tribe. That's what we need to remember here. This is not about when we talk about any kind of queen kingdom kind of thing. We know it's the heaven within that we're igniting here, and we're just here to make this happen. And never mind the rest of how they're taking things as such, or rather check your response to that and then alchemize it, because we're here literally to alchemize all the pain and suffering and trauma we have experienced into ever greater levels of love, because we literally have our wisdom locked in our hearts. And this is what we're opening and igniting fully now. And this is what's unlocking our wisdom, gifts, and abilities. And this is what makes the magic happen. And we're here to make the magic happen. We're not just here to listen and read or whatever channelings and what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We're here to make it happen. And that's what I'm here for. And most people who listen to me are here for that too. So let's make it happen. Let's show everybody what we can do when we believe in ourselves and one another, and do this as one heart, higher heart, mind, soul, and logos, which is what we're here for. This is igniting and reuniting the planetary logos and monad, which the 144 is all about. Okay. And we can play with numbers and all of this, but ultimately it's beyond all of this. It's beyond words, it's beyond numbers, it's beyond concepts. And I know there's so much going on right now out there, and all these different belief systems and timelines and realities, and let it all go. That's what I suggest. All you think you know, this is a lot about unlearning. And literally now letting the past go, these fallen timelines, these are fallen timelines ultimately. So if you constantly intake again all the fallen matrices, architectures, galactic dramas, or worldly ones, we keep recreating that, quite frankly. So right now it's all about our focus. 110% needs to be on New Earth now. Everything we say, think, feel, do, paint it, sing it, dance it, talk it, feel it, think it, meditate it into existence now. That's what we came for. And that is right now. 5 days of Schumann resonance, I think we're still in, because, I mean, I don't feel a shift in the energies from that. So I don't even need to check. I think we're still on Schumann resonance blackout 5 days in. And it's funny because I kept giving the wrong numbers in my posts. I did change it in some of them. It's also because Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then I post kind of the most important post on the community page on YouTube. First of all, it's a lot of admin. And then second of all, I can't post the same way on all the pages. So anyway, Facebook is where you get most of me. And I know I don't have a website, and anyway, it's just not what it is right now. And ultimately, it's about getting the message across. And that's what I said in general for everybody. Anything we do, calling the earth into existence now, never mind who's listening, how many, or see it. Do it most of all for yourself. Do it for creation. Do it for the love of creating this right now. And call it into existence. And align everything of that with you. So you need to listen to your own inner guidance. What that means for each one of us might be very different and very unique. And that can only be retrieved from within. The instruction sets and what we're here to do, because we're also here to align it. Like for me, it's literally the message is pack your bags. So I'm going to be doing that as long as I have enough energy for that. It was a lot about just also at the moment, another message was allowing the relaxation and the phase in between, this transitory space, to align yourself, first of all, energetically, allow the rest and enjoy it, because we are going to be very, very busy very soon, and there will be a lot of movement. So, and that message is quite strong. So we can kind of everything to align our whole reality with what we're seeing and what we are seeing and accessing right now, especially within meditation and when we are trying to tune into these new earth realities. Because we're here again, the DNA that we carry. So when we talk about Magi, Grail, Queens and Kings, really it's the indigos and the star seeds that just carry and have been safeguarding through the eons the DNA, the human, the divine angelic human DNA within their own morphogenetic fields. And we've taken on all this karma and all this stuff that connects us with all of humanity and ultimately all of creation. And we're healing and clearing this throughout our own healing and transformation. And that is what heals all. That's why that work always comes first. And that is our worth. This is where we are at the moment literally shape-shifting realities from the inside out. And that's what we need to really tune into right now and merge and unify with our already ascended master, guardian self, taking full ownership of these realities that are collective, because we are the seeders of humanity. We are those ascended masters. And now we're merging with that consciousness. And we came here, first of all, we're going back into the future. This is all quantum. So we have created all of this. And this is what we need to remember. Never mind who's declaring anything anywhere at a political or otherwise level out there. We are here to declare. And that's what we're here for today. So I was seeing some funny some post today, which was something along the lines of King Charles announcing that the elections in America were, unjust, unfraud, and for Biden and Camilla to get out of there. It's like everything a little bit wrong about this. First of all, he doesn't have any jurisdiction, I think, even in the UK politically, at least not much at all, and definitely not in America. So why are we waiting for any politician or false royal to do anything, declare anything? We are the ones who are declaring this. I really, really, really mean this. And this really needs to go in there. Because when we have been looking at the last 2.5 years and we're seeing like humanity disempowered, where have we been at? I mean, I've been beating this drum for quite a while, but we're here to make it happen. We carry the DNA and the film strip of our realities in our bodies, in our cells, in our DNA, in our flesh, in our organs, everything, okay? And there's a whole lot more around us. And we're here to activate it. And we're here to believe in ourselves and that we can do it, because that's what makes it happen. Not by us waiting and reading and thinking. I mean, thinking, yes, believing, yes. But you know what I mean. What are we believing in every moment, every 30 seconds? What are we doing? Are we aligning with the guidance we are getting internally, our inner wisdom? We really need to let the heart guide us right now to the right situations, people, and experiences that are activating you have now, because you need to align with that reality. So let's get busy. Seriously. So what do we want to see? Do we want to see? So what, for example, goes on in England, okay, I need to just address this because I didn't address it enough last time, is, first of all, people are trauma bonded and there are just programs running. And that's just literally a clearing of these programs. Don't gaslight anyone's experience. Try to put yourself into those shoes. Most of them are not even real. Probably, what is real, what is not. We need to question that. Anything we see on a screen, especially, unless we know someone firsthand or are there, firsthand, experiencing this. So see where you're still getting triggered. And this is ultimately not real. All of these realities, it's like a movie you're watching. You need to understand, we're here to wake up from this dream, which is a nightmare ultimately. And it's all holographic overlays, inserts, aka false memories, aka false histories, history records that we're here to ignite from within our DNA right now, which is happening. And there's a lot of sun action coming up now to help us do that. But we're also here to make it happen by shifting our consciousness from spectator to active co-creator. Every thought, word, feeling, thing, every action you take, everything is this. And everything needs to be like now. And we've, again, you know when you need to know. There's nothing to force here at all. There's just divine flow. There's no time, total timelessness. Align fully and merge with your eternal, timeless, already ascended master self. All they have is time. Timelessness is literally our weapon. Infinite freaking patience. So, but we can feel it. The divine timing, aka frequency alignment, has come. But again, it's not, when we say it's happening, it's like it's a continuous happening. I think also a lot of people have checked off like the internet because it's just too much of that nonsense going on. So if anyone has an issue, like I made a post saying something like the false queen is dead, now the real true grail queens and kings rise. And I stand to that, and that doesn't miss really any, it's just a statement. The thing is, we value and respect the original consciousness of every being. This is nothing to do with disrespect. This is just like, okay, this is what's happening, and this is very symbolic, and this is what it means. But people who are mourning a false monarch and don't really truly understand of what they stood for and what they were here been doing. I think most people that listen to my video would be on my kind of page of understanding of the invasions of negative aliens that is part of the kind of fallen histories, but that the monarchy was very much part of, for sure. And whatever's going on right there, it's just see it as a fallen timeline taking its course, and just don't get triggered by it, because as long as you get triggered by anything, just see it. It's just like a movie, literally. I mean, I'm not looking, just scrolling past that nonsense. So, because as long as we still get triggered by anything going on out there, we keep feeding it. When we neutralize it, and again, it's all perfect, it's all fine. If you still get triggered, that's just, you're burning off whatever you need to burn off and clear and transmute and alchemize and maybe understand more deeply and integrate as a part of you. But it's literally us. I mean, what was the monarchy really good for? Besides false philanthropy and a lot of horrible crimes that I'm aware of and I'm pretty sure of. So, but we are ultimately moving and merging with a reality where this has never happened. That's the other fun thing. So just neutralize it. It's a fallen timeline. Just let it collapse and die with her. And neutrally, there's no, I mean, she certainly died the most comfortable death you can buy for money. So there's nothing, and she died, whenever she died, like a long age anyway. So there's nothing really in general about dying. You don't want anyone to suffer. I don't. It's a way of the old life, and the old life is dying, and this is part of it. And even if there are people who are close to us die, it's part of the transition. And we are just here to hold space in a neutral way, but also know this is not the end of it. But some of these negative beings, they're going back as space does to source, because they just had too much damage done to their template, quite frankly. this is a whole sifting out. So there's no, ultimately fully integrated as a multidimensional self. You also need to be like 1% psychopath. As in, you need to be ready to get rid of what needs to be gotten rid of. And there is ultimately also, if you think about certain beings that have been hugely tortured, this is why they're torturing others. It's like healed people heal others, and, only beings who are unhealed torture others. And ultimately, this is also a form of grace for these people to disappear or transition, because they can't be helped. We've really tried. Believe me, this is a long undertaking, rehabilitation program of trying again and again and again for making certain beings see the light, literally. And from a certain level of consciousness, you just cannot. So, and ultimately it's a dream. And that's like I don't have any problems with dying. I would be fine with dying in this moment now in time. I know it's not the end. Then there's another incarnation to have. But in future, it will be much more conscious of when we leave our body. The gray lines also, what it also entails is, what does the Holy Grail entail in all these stories like that are slightly distorted? It means eternal life. So we hold a 12-strand DNA. When that is fully reassembled, we have eternal life. Ultimately, there is no death and there is no disease, because that is actually not natural. Many things not natural that we are experiencing. The same for women having periods every month, and a certain span of having children, and all of that being painful. It has been all manipulated. So all of these thoughts, all of these belief systems is what ultimately creates death and disease, but it's obviously also connected to many other levels of what we've been clearing energetically, implants, inserts, but really all boils down to the consciousness. And that's what we are kind of focusing on, because again, you can make this all as complicated as you want to, but at the highest levels, consciousness, and then, it forms into matter. And the DNA, actually, what it entails is the consciousness, is the, higher acidic levels of consciousness that we're here to activate, or rather, sort of the gift level. All right. So let me just go through a few notes in case there was anything I can see that's anything I can speak on. Also, just quickly, because it comes to my mind, the person who was asking last time about the magnetic poles, that she was just having magnetic, I think, chakras. I can't answer those kind of questions. Like, I wouldn't know a straight, like a generic answer to that without speaking to someone more in detail. How are you all doing? Pretty intense. So huge amount of plasma light coming in. It's all being blitzed and cleared. Can you speak to abundance? Well, this 9/11 is very much also about abundance, and it's really us igniting our abundance from within. It's very much connected to our self-worth, which we've been busy reclaiming by clearing out all the doubts. And it's the giving our power away. If we think anyone else has this more figured out than we ourselves, and we're constantly looking outside for advice and what's going to happen and when, that's us giving our power away instead of us making it happen. That's why I said that's the short form of false light. False light will ask you to, or will constantly just want you to feed it in a sense of what's next, or what to do, and when is it going to happen, and giving it your power, where true light will always want you to stand in your own power, because quite frankly, we cannot do this with a bunch of followers. We need leaders. And this is not leading as in controlling anything, or ownership as in, again, controlling. This is about understanding we're all part of one another. It's the same as we don't just let people live on the streets. It's absolutely unnecessary, because there are enough resources. And we all if we all put effort together, this is not necessary. It's just when we are feeling separate and when we feel we don't have enough, that everybody's looking out for themselves and everybody just tries to get richer and richer and feels more and more secure, which doesn't ultimately work at all, which is what we're seeing. So the same as with my thing of like the trouble of renting a place, an appropriate place. It's a big issue in Ireland, especially in Dublin area, and not being made better with the whole Ukrainian crisis, because we accept a lot of Ukrainians. I'm just saying this very neutral. Ultimately, again, it's part of the movie, so we're trying to transcend it, but it's been a big theme of my whole journey. It's just all insane, the whole system works, and it's the same thing. It's like people are just asking for more and more money for their places, not really keeping them up at all, not a nice standard, most of them, just because they can, because the neighbor does, and they don't want to lose out. And everybody just wants more, the greed from not having enough. So not having enough, poverty consciousness, scarcity, lack, that all comes in many different shapes and forms, can be on both sides, rich people who want more, or can be on, those people who've always lived in poverty, who have loads of programs running that keep repeating this and keep co-creating these realities, because quite frankly, if you've been born into a rich environment, you will have it much more easy to stay rich, because you have a whole different outlook on life. And programming, aka belief systems and thought forms running in your template that will keep creating that, recreating that, unless obviously there are some karmic reasons for you to experience otherwise. And obviously there are many people who've lost and gained and lost again and all of that stuff. Ultimately, all that money thing, I think money as we know it is totally, it's literally not, it's gone. And it will be a new, like a kind of credit system as I see it. So not real money, but not in the way, obviously, the opposite agenda is trying to push. So nobody's left. Everybody's provided for. There's enough for everyone. Again, I do see a lot of what we see, and there are a lot of holographic inserts running around. So again, it's a projection. This whole scarcity is being the programs we have been running within us that are telling us we are not enough as we are, simply by being. We don't need to do anything, prove anything, create anything ultimately. Just being is enough. But everything in our environment tells us, no, we need to look this, be this. Whether it's followers on Instagram or, I don't know, people wanting to buy your activations or healing or whatever it may be. Or like your, paintings, can be anything. Posts. So, because ultimately, all that counts is what you are thinking of it, why you're creating it. You need to understand, we have been heavily influenced and messed with. And a lot of us also had to deal with shadow banning and a lot of interference. So what you see is not even real. None of this means anything ultimately. Sure, it helps, especially when it's real people connected to us. But it's often that one person or the two people, that one thing that changes everything. And that's what I truly believe in. And that's what we do it for. It's that one person you make a difference for. It gets that one activation from what you're sharing. That's what we're doing this for. And it's what makes all the difference. Not because we want our ego prepped up and feel worthy that way, which is a false sense of worth. It's a false ego. It's a narcissistic ego that needs the outside evaluation in order to feel worthy and constantly needs a fix. But our fix comes from source, comes from deep within, the pleasure in just creating. Because we're doing it for a deeper and higher reason. And we see that. So when we really, really dig into that worth and really understand that and claim that from deep within, that's what we're going to see now. We create abundant reality. So we need to really align again our thinking, feeling, belief system, everything we do with that abundance, which comes in many ways. Yeah. So that could be a whole 2-hour thing on its own. But it really is, ultimately, it's getting rid of any thought forms and belief systems that are telling us that we're not already abundant, because what we're tuning into now is really fully aligning, quantum leaping, aligning, synchronizing with that future version of us, which we already are in the quantum, that's already abundant, where you could wake up tomorrow with 2 million unicorns in your bank account. I'm just going to call it that, okay? And could do whatever you want. And what we're also here for is all the borders down, all these travel restrictions. We're going to call it all down now. So what do we want to create? That's really what I want to see in the chat. What? Ta-ta-ta-ta. What kind of abundance do we want to create and speak into existence right now? Give it to me in the chat, people, please. What are we creating? All borders down, free traveling everywhere, wherever we want to go. I'm all for teleporting because I don't like long haul flights either, if I can avoid it. That's our superpowers. That's the gifts and abilities. That's creating out of thin air. Okay. And really calling in our abundance now. And it's beyond money. It's beyond your old ways of thinking. I need to this and that. I need to offer this course, or I need to take on this job. I need to invest in this in order to make X, Y, and Z. This is quantum. We are like parallel aligning. I mentioned, I think, in most of the posts I did on different platforms also a series to watching TV series. I think it's an original Netflix series. Jeez, I can't speak properly. That's called Undone, Undone. I just watch kind of free streaming websites where I found it. But it's a two series out there for those who don't know, because it does carry loads of codes of us aligning with parallel realities, which is ultimately all timelines, all dimensions, all realities, all of our multidimensional selves merging into one. Whatever we're aligned with right now. And you can quantum leap right now, really high. But you need to fully align yourself with that. And most of that is the feeling. It's all of those extra sensory psychic abilities that we are tuning into and that are our gifts. These are the extra DNA strands of the indigos and starseeds. That is what is activating New Earth now. So what are we activating? Just having some fun here. But we need to. We really need to. I think we all need to just, get on board, onto the fast track, into New Earth now. It's a great uplifting, that passing, wherever you want to see. It's a lot of reptilian energy lifting. It's literally, for me, a symbolic representation of what I'm seeing going on in the field, of these beings leaving. So, and I have no issue with death in general, especially if someone hasn't suffered. It's part of the illusion. And I'm not having no compassion for someone not losing someone that they have, that they're close to. This is a slightly different issue and thing, bigger symbolic happening. But generally, of course, we want the people we love with us, and it's hard. So I'm not, what's going on with people crying at the gates? Yeah, I don't watch, because it's a program running. Like trauma bonding program. Now, has anybody got any ideas here of what we're manifesting now? So I have all travel restrictions down, free travel, everyone, full abundance, absolutely no restrictions in what we do, where we live, all within reason. Organic, not touched food, totally. Yes. That's another thing. Imagine everything, like every particle of food and every molecule of water purified. You have everything like this, everything, your whole reality, everything, the whole cosmos literally is in your bubble of reality, in your morphogenetic field. And it's being projected out. So traveling even is an illusion in a way. And that's what we're tuning into, that we're just shifting the frequency, that we are transmitting from source, tuned into source, of what we are dreaming into existence now. Because it's not, again, about our little ego will. This is about totally surrendering to divine will, which I think most of us have been busy doing with all of the clearing and all the other stuff. Becoming as pure as we can, channel for source to make this happen. As the Rainbow Tribe, we are here to make it happen. We are the creators. We are. We really are. And no more money. Just, there still needs to be, a kind of bonus system for, I believe, where you have, basically it's like, as I've been shown it, like as if you're in a video game and you're like earning points kind of thing. So it's kind of fun, but you do it but the way you get it, it's because kind of the value you add either to the society and creation, and kind of the level of joy and fun, higher frequency you add by your creations. So apply that to everything you're doing now, because you're merging with those future realities where you're no longer driven by money or ego, kind of wanting to impress people sort of thing. And it comes from a pure place, because when we come from a pure place, we project our pure realities. That's the purification of the heart mind that we've been going through, especially this last week. Yeah, and totally be open. This really has been so much, and I've been saying for a long time, like just you surrender, because I keep not being exactly shown what's coming. It's like literally just step by step, moment to moment thing, total surrender, and you live in the now, from one moment to the next, and let literally God source dream through you and your higher self, because we all have individual instruction sets to bring all this online. Each one has a piece of the puzzle. That's why it's so important that we check in with our own inner instruction sets and guidance, because it's very unique for each. And that technology is within us. That's a crystalline technology within us. Also within my activations. Check out my SoundCloud. The links is below. Also, the New Earth Now is really good right now for 20 minutes. And the last few I did masculine healing and divine union support. And the other one was the 12 and 13D grid activation and plasma light body. And yeah, just, all of this stuff helps to activate our templates, our light bodies. And as we do this within our own template, we also do within this in the template of the light body, and really just command yourself to ignite New Earth now and keep my life is literally 24/7. It's a conscious communication with the field, with the consciousness. So to become super conscious right now, super conscious co-creators of everything we think and feel, and be super responsible. And that's what we are igniting, because that's the consciousness. The consciousness is what informs the realities. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. Who is the one dreaming of thinking anything here anyway? Once you surrender to source, there is not much, I am doing here. As I said earlier, I didn't actually really want to come on, but then there is a bigger push that will not let me rest anyway before I've come online. And I don't even sometimes know why. And I'm like, really? More? Do we need to? Because I'm tired too. But, it also helps me shift and move energy, and it helps me as much as it does you. This is not me saying, I'm here sacrificing my well-being or anything, but just we need to also push ourselves to make it happen when we get the calling, when we get the guidance, so to say. And everything, again, is this, okay? This doesn't need to be anything public. It's every conversation we have, every interaction, families and all that. And this is really about bringing the family back together, but more so the soul families, but also healing anything that's still outstanding, that might still be a conflict in your reality. That's ultimately a conflict that you're holding within you in your own consciousness that still needs to be resolved as part of this full release of just everything that was. It's all going, gone. Just need to release the past now fully. That's why it's been coming up and being released in different shapes and forms. And we all have different levels of awareness of what's going on. But it's really a whole karmic load all gone, going and being released. And it's a total reset of the one consciousness, which is a total reset of the realities. And it's literally like waking up from a dream. And we need to transcend time, space, and gravity, and what we think is real in order to make this happen now. Especially over the next 3 days is the message. That's why I'm being asked to do this video, to drill this in to us and really align all of us with the new realities now and make it happen. And again, mostly from within, but then also all the guidance we get in the action steps we need to take. But it's really, again, every thought, word, feeling, belief system, everything we do. And yeah, I mean, at a planetary level, I've shared most in the post on Facebook. I couldn't fit everything in the other areas and social media pages. But basically, I mean, huge diamond light pillars are activating today, especially. It's literally like us being blitzed and being the anchors and pillars of light for the ascension. We are ascending. We are ascending. That's all I can see. That's all that's happening. Nothing is going to stop this. We've now, especially yesterday, cleared out all the reversals, all the gender reversals, all of this nonsense gender divide and war is totally going, gone, and dissolving now. This inner split we've been feeling, it's all unifying as one. These divine union activations, especially guided by the twin flames, and this is also through the original twin flames, hold these Edenic codes and keys for the new Eden, for the new paradise. And it is sealing all the bloodlines, and it's connected to the magic gray lines, queens and kings, and the cosmic dragon, queens and kings, however we want to perceive this. It's the indigos, it's the star seeds. We hold these DNA codings within that hold the realities. And we have been literally projecting the realities for a fallen consciousness, which is part of us. So it's ultimately not separate at all. That's the whole thing. You need to merge and unify with all of it. You cannot see yourself separate from the fallen angelics and even the phantom matrix, which is all fully dissolved now at a higher level. We will just see it now rolling out of how exactly that will go. But I do believe, probably with a lot of solar action, one moment to the next, just keep expecting everything to shift from one moment to the next. Whether it's gradually or in one moment in time, it's basically both, where you think of Mandela effect, reality shifting, landscapes, buildings, your whole timeline. All of a sudden you remember a whole different reality, a whole different history. That's what it's all about ultimately, because if we think and believe the same old history, like the queen was a good queen, sorry, but that's basically distorted information. These are part of the holographic inserts of the fallen realities, which is coming up to clear. So you just need to see it for what it is. It's not real. It's not the truth. That's for sure. But you dissolve it in neutrality by not getting triggered by it anymore. And just know we are here to take full ownership of the realities now. So don't give your power away thinking like someone out there has more power than we do, as we remember again that we are here to shift the realities now. Not at the equinox, not at the whatever. Now, always now, quantum now. Now. Now is all that ever is, ever was, ever will be. No more attaching to trying to keep things the way they are or trying to change them. You just keep activating and co-creating what you want to create. Co-create in alignment with the law of one and divine will. Source. Yeah, I'm very let's do this today. I can be a bit bossy. My daughter has the same thing. It takes a lot of tenacity and strong will to do this, believe me, guys. Obviously. Just by doing what I do, You need to have a thick skin, so to say, and not get deterred by much at all or anything. Unfuckable with. That's what we're going for here, okay? From a loving place. But you also need to be resolute. That's the whole thing. Boundaries. I'm going to repost something tomorrow, I think I've written before on boundaries of like, you need to know when to, who and what you are investing energy in, especially right now. If we align with the right people, it doesn't take many and much to shift and change things really epically and magically. And we're really here right now to tune into the magic and make this happen. I mean, it's already happening. It's locked in. But again, we keep making it happen every now moment. This never stops. Okay, you're not going to be one moment ascended and then you just, can be a jackass, obviously. So we need to keep it going. No more falling in consciousness. All right. And obviously this has variations, but obviously, ultimately, yeah, you can't fall in consciousness anymore to the degree we have been. No more. Harmonic resonance, that's us being our true self. The music of the spheres is our blueprints. It's again, before we form into matter and geometries, it's sound and light fields. And that's what's shifting. That's the harmonic resonance, as us being in our true self, as I see it, and really playing our own tune, being our own true self. And that cannot be given to you by anyone else. That's for you to figure out what that is as part of the one true self, which is our highest, DNA consciousness, highest cosmic consciousness embodied in form. But we have fun with it. It's not all uptight and resolute and strict. I don't know why I'm thinking this now, but I was watching The Name of the Rose yesterday. I haven't watched it for ages. Just there's nothing to watch. If anyone has any recommendations, please. Because, there's just so much we can do inner work and I don't know. Anyway, so I watched The Name of the Rose, and it's, for those who don't know it, because it's an older movie, it's very much connected also to the old Catholic religious monk style existence. And oh my God, how anti-feminine that whole paradigm was. And the feminine is basically, the devil and leads you astray. And yeah, unless you do Holy Mary and untouched. So wow. Yeah. Now that all goes out the window because that, Sean Connery, it's with Sean Connery. And Christian Slater, as he was saying. But it's also, I know whatever we, again, come across or think of, even things we're watching, random things, some that come to our mind or we see in our realities, they always are representing something. So this is also at the root, as I said, all these spiritual and religious beliefs, also between the masculine and the feminine. Again, this whole thing of I call it the Black Witch program that men carry, that, women are kind of leading them astray or taking them away from their, their mission and their freedom. And there's so many things in there, and I'm not going to go into this right now, but all of these archetypes and programs that are running between the masculine and the feminine, it's so hilarious. Anyway, gone, because all of this is literally based on inverted programming and thought forms and beliefs. But it was just highlighted, but this is still very deep within the psyche. The same within like iconic programming and the reptilian programming. It's this whole, the women are literally there to bear children and offer sex or to just carry on the bloodline sort of thing. And that's obviously not what it is about. And the same goes for the other way, the beliefs we have about men. So all of this is what is creating the realities and the kind of relationships we have. If we don't resolve them from deep within, and we often have picked them up from our own childhood and upbringing or the society, but again, it's very deep. These are collective thought forms that are rising now. I mean, how outdated is the monarchy? People even care? I mean, they should say, bring this down, give the people the money. The same for the church. Don't get me started on them. It's all going down, down, down. Because you can't have these kind of inequalities. And that's what we're here for. Again, so you need to, it's an inner shift in frequency, knowing we are shifting realities now, where we are calling in abundance for all people, however that may play out. Just see people already abundant, everybody provided for. If you're given a picture of some starving children in Africa, override it with all the children cared for and loved for. Because we're here for the children. If you ever have a problem or, lack of motivation, remember we are here for the children and to free everybody. And ultimately, we're jumping to quantum leap into a reality where they have never been abused. So, again, this is bigger than any one of us and our little egos here. That's what keeps me going, ultimately. And one moment to the next, what needs to be done to get this done? Whilst you also surrender. Also do a whole lot of surrendering, obviously. Because there's always just so much we can do, and also what we're being shown of what we need to do. And it doesn't always look like we want it to look. But what I'm seeing now is that all the blocks, all this shit has been resolved. It's just literally dissolving now in this beautiful frequency of divine love as we're opening our hearts. It's happening in a crystalline core of the earth, which I very much see as the permanent seed atom within the earth and literally of all of creation. And we're returning earth to being the jewel of creation that it is. This is much bigger. It's a whole cosmic undertaking again. Way bigger than just earth. And it's a cosmic consciousness reset, which resets the realities. So now, no more borders. Free travel for everybody. All of the lies and deceit and manipulations fully revealed. The revelation now. We speak this into existence now. That's how you need to speak. Feel it, sing it, write it, dance it. No greed. So what's the opposite of greed? Let's not focus on what we don't want. Let's focus on what we do want. Very important right now. Very important right now. Keep focusing on what you do want. So what's the opposite of greed? No more elites. What's the opposite of that? So equality. Equality everywhere. There is no one above anyone else. That's what we need to exercise in our own lives. So be the change. Where do you feel above or below anyone? Superior or inferior? Go within and see where can you release that, because it's nonsense. You can't compare people. We are all here for something else. We are all here representing the whole of creation, all these different star races and beings. We're all hybrids. And we are keeping those attitudes, virtues, and ethics that are coherent with cosmic and God source consciousness, and the rest goes back to source for re-encryption. And we're here to embody that. And it's not about being hard on ourselves again. All right, let's take down the stick. I used to be very hard on myself, and I still work on that. Because we see what needs to be changed, obviously, but we are here to be the change. You can also only be the change when you love yourself up just the way you are. But then we also want to make corrections where we see, maybe I want to change that. But not from a place of, you're so terrible. How can I be like this? Or do this to someone else? Yeah, that's the whole thing, where right now is also all this judgment, and what has kept us separate is dissolving with these reversals in the grids clearing. What has kept us apart and split and victimizer consciousness running in the programs and gender splitting. And all the mind control that has kept people just in a daze. And that's not their true self. That's what you need to see. It's not their true self. If they would know what's going on, which is what we're here for, to return the truth, which is said literally in our DNA, in cellular memory, where we clear out all this shit that is untrue as we see through it without getting triggered. And we get triggered until we no longer get triggered. It's all good. Yeah, we're here for the truth. That's all I'm here for. I just want people to have the truth, and then they can make up their mind. But right now, what you need to see, some people still obviously running the programs because they don't know anything else. Just see them already healed. Okay, that's the best thing you can do right now. And I really believe that's how Joshua healed, and that's what we're here for, is see ourselves fully healed, see other people fully healed. Doesn't mean that you don't see what's going on. It just, you see the highest expression, and you see your highest expression, and you believe that you're already that. It's just thought forms and belief systems that are actually keeping you from that version of you and reality. Yes, and I definitely see children with special needs fully healed, and they really have special gifts. And that all require special needs. We all require special support for what we're here for, because we're all much more sensitive and tuned in to our environment and frequencies. But it's such a gift. You know, it's like when we grow up, I know, like when you're very sensitive, it's like, kind of toughen up so you make it in the world. And it's actually our superpower. And I try to say this to my daughter, but she doesn't quite accept that yet. But we don't toughen up anymore and pretend there's nothing wrong. Where when we're with soul family, you are seen, you've been heard, you've been read, we are attuned to one another and our needs. And we're there to support one another without sacrificing ourselves. That's what we're trying to get right here. And we invest our energy and attention in the right things. And no longer get drained by that which doesn't feed us, sustains us back as well. This doesn't mean like keeping a score, but you get me. We need to really cut also interactions and where we feed energy into areas, people, systems, things, realities in our lives that are just draining us and are not sustaining us. Because what's also changing is the whole way we process energy is no longer from this, we're no longer feeding into a phantom matrix, all dissolving, poof. And we are back aligned with our true north and Andromeda and the Lion Stargate and Source. And we are now running the eternal God source backflow return, as I call it, or the butterfly pattern in our field, which is basically eternally sustaining us. And the source is really within, which is our higher heart. So you're constantly perpetuating, you're not running out of energy. So you're not dying, you don't disease. That's the eternal life. And crystal lotus flower patterns and the 12D grid that I've shown in my previous videos, that is based upon the true organic templates that the original Divine Angelic HUman is based upon. Because what the fallen bloodlines and races had happened to their template is being cut off at 10. That's why you see in the Kabbalah the tree of life with 10 spheres or points, and it's literally been cut off at 10 DNA strands, so they can't ascend and they can't connect to source because they lost that connection in their own template. And that's kind of just a representation of that, really. And that's what we've been healing, and that's what we've been collecting. So especially then also connected to the Stargates 11 and 12 in the UK and Ireland, the Stargate 11, and then Kauai and Montsegur in France, Stargate 12 have been repaired, and the whole Giza Stargate repair work and all the others. So that's also connected to our own tree of life that's happening and correcting and activating now fully within the planet in our own fields, and also connected to our DNA strands. It's all fully activated, it's all locked in. We've collected all the keys and codes. All I see it keeps activating. And that's part of us activating this in our field. And again, it's information, consciousness, beliefs, and thought forms that we can consciously direct now, because we need to be the conscious co-creators. It's not just happening to us, although it's also happening. It's both and. That's the fun. okay? The paradox that you get to embrace with multidimensional living. But we also need to make it happen. We are God's boots on the ground. So we need to make it happen. But again, it's not you forcing yourself. Ultimately, it's just one moment in time you will be like, let's change this. Let's do this, because you're ready for it. But first you need to love it all up. That's what I would say. Anything, I remember I used to want to change myself so much. And now I don't even try anymore. And then it just happens by magic. When the time is right, things just fall away as you heal yourself. That's what I made as an experience. So the loving it all up, literally. And it's not by, what I don't mean is just letting yourself off the hook all the time. And, you know, again, I'm quite a person who's quite critical on a level. Or you just see, you know, what needs correcting. But I also give myself leeway where I know, like, I'm in constant communication with my higher levels of knowing what, you know, what I'm here to embody, what's my true self. And I'm just being that without being driven by what other people, you know, especially in the spiritual community, the belief systems there of who we are supposed to be and how we are supposed to be. That actually comes back to smoking, drinking, drugs, and all of that stuff. I'm totally not for people get wasted, not at all. This is about we are being conscious, but everybody needs to decide that for themselves. Because I see things going around, and even if you eat meat and you can't ascend, these kind of belief systems are not helping anyone. Everybody needs to sort that out for themselves. I remember when I had my full awakening at the beginning in 2011. Oh my God. I didn't know what was happening to me. The doctor gave me I think Xanax or Valium or different times, and then sleeping tablets. And I was smoking marijuana and drinking at the time just to try and like actually make the tablets work. Nothing would literally work or hit the sides. Literally nothing would work. Like it just didn't. So, and at times you might need these things. You need to decide this for yourselves. There's nothing right or wrong as such, but I wouldn't recommend getting unconscious. And it's the same with foods, you know. If you're a certain type, maybe just fresh fruits don't do it for you all the time. Now, I'm not super healthy, I have to say. Like, definitely something I can improve upon. But I also know that ultimately everything is mana. I don't project negative thoughts onto food or things in general as much as I can. Obviously, I'm still always refining. But you get me. I don't say, oh, this is terrible for me. That's why I think people can't also, when I do diets, and I've never done a diet in my life really, at least not consciously, it's why I can't lose weight after a certain time is because they keep focusing on being too big or too fat or whatever. You need to focus on what you want to be. Then you will align yourself with that. And the more you love yourself, the more you will have healthy boundaries, the more you will not spend your energy on things that don't serve you, the more you won't feed things and situations and people that don't serve you also, where it's a give and take. Because it's so important for us, because it's part of our energy management and being sovereign, of knowing, again, what to focus on and what not, and spend our energy on. Have I? I don't know if you guys are actually talking to one another or me. I'm just kind of looking at some of the writings. But let's create new earth. Hearts wide open. I mean, that's ultimately all that's needed. Okay? I really believe that we need to open up wide. Yeah, and also the really veterans, I think, of the souls, okay, here, you know, sometimes these memes, it's like kind of the old veterans that are just with, you know, a cigarette, and like, because I also smoke still. And it's just something where it will just drop when it can. But it's like, you're just here and you've been there millions of times. I mean, it's definitely nothing that, you know, or if you eat E numbers, it's nothing that's going to hurt you. You've been through the block of millions of times. I at least don't believe it. It's not something, you know, I would choose if I could. And I'm not recommending it to people, but again, it's not going to prevent me from ascending. At least that's the message I'm getting continuously, because I checked. But everybody needs to sort this out for themselves. But we need to get away and transcend all these belief systems. Oh my God, there's just so many going around right now. Because that's what keeps us separate. And we need to accept people for who they are, and accepting ourselves for who we are is so important. Yeah, and smoking weed. I shared a video about this before. I do that too. And it does help me, especially with pains and anxiety. And again, everybody needs to figure this out for themselves. And there are a lot of belief systems out there. But it's also important that we can speak about, because I know there's a lot of stigma out there. And again, every person is different. I don't get stoned like, other people, but it assists me in many different ways. So, yeah. So let's speak New Earth into being. First of all, loving ourselves all up and understanding that we have the wealth within us, the abundance within us, and we're now here to project this out to everyone. And this is what's literally igniting New Earth now, because we are holding this within us. Okay, within our DNA, we are to ignite it. The next few days are real paramount. That's what I'm getting. Super, super paramount. And the stargates are wide open. The grids are wide. It's just so beautiful what's happening. I know it's really intense, because as also these divine love frequencies and this diamond white light is literally purifying all. It's literally purifying all. So it's like intense and blissful almost at the same time. And you can obviously feel anything in between. So I don't know how actually people are doing right now overall. But this is an inside-out creation. We are projecting this, and that's what we need to remember. So this is not about saying this is not real as such even, but it's just to remind you the picture of the last video that it's not real. It's from the movie Divergent, which is one of the recommendations I put at the bottom. Basically, it's all about, ultimately this is a simulation. We are about, what I see, awakening from this dream, which is this holographic overlay, which is not real. It's not nice. This is all insane. Okay. If we look out there, I'm hardly looking to that insanity really, because I'm focusing in on New Earth now with everything I have, as much as I can. Of course, if I see something, we're not here to avoid anything at all. We're here to alchemize and transcend and to override. And especially any feelings, okay, and what has been happening with between the twin flames as well lately, between the healing and the divine unions of the masculine and feminine, is ultimately happening within us, but also, depending on where we're at, might be connected with other people in our lives. It's really helping us to clear out any of these remaining feelings of unworthiness, lack of confidence, doubt, where the heart is still disconnected from the mind. That's all that's been clearing out, for now the heart mind really to unify as one, so we can project this higher reality out. That is, us as the 144 or 144,000 that are here to do this. And it really just takes that amount of people in order to do that. So when we believe in ourselves and again, everything is online as I can see it. It's all about divine now moment. I really feel this is our divine timing has now come. I know I'm not the only one. The twin flames here are really here to anchor these new relationship templates, which is what relates all of us. So this is not just about romantic relationships. It's what's the basis of how we relate. And that's what the twin flames do. They really love each other so unconditionally, that they really see each other in the highest light, already perfect. And that is what is enabling us to do this again with all life everywhere. And this is what is healing everyone, as I see it, because that's how we are able to embrace all the heartache and all we've been through. Because I know from my own journey, my heart had it's been really difficult lately with everything we've been through. And something had to shift and help to get us to the next level. And we all do this to one another. We all help one another heal and walk each other home and open our hearts more and believe again in humanity, and that true divine love is possible, and healthy relationships, and unity consciousness, and new earth now. We're here to remind each other of all of this, and that we came to believe it into existence, dream it into existence, literally, as we are fully connected to source now, and divine, eternal God source flow, energy, Ascension keys and codes, bliss codes, everything beautifully aligning now and activating from within us. Our DNA fully activating and aligning from within us now. And it's a graduation. This is a completion. And we bring it through completion by going back to the start. What is back to the start? We've created all of this. We've seeded all of this. We've been dreaming this into existence. It's ultimately like you having a headset on, you're now taking it off and saying, whoa, that was a crazy ride. Let's not do this again, okay? Because I don't want to. This was not fun at all. But I know at a higher level, we're kind of laughing because it wasn't real. And we can just wake up from the dream. It really is like that. And we've been obviously clearing and healing all the wounds and trauma that has brought us to this point. But we do this by healing all those wounds and going back in time and correcting all these timelines and, doing the things that didn't go right. And part of that is that when the invasion happened, we weren't prepared. And that's why we need to, part of that is us putting our foot down and saying, get off our planet, back to source, see you later. Quite frankly. I mean, I'm doing a lot of that work, so I have processed that. But just in case this helps anyone, all right? And divine love is ultimately what heals all, us coming back together with our soul tribe, being seen, being heard. I truly believe the twin flames coming back together also, and also because this has been asked, whether you need another person in order to ascend. I don't believe so at all. I believe we all have different contracts or different arrangements with, or have co-created different ways of how to do this. At higher level, beyond 60, you do need to, at an etheric level, integrate, those masculine aspects in the keys and codes, but you don't need an actual person in your life right now next to you to do that, I believe, unless it's part of your contract. So I do believe the core twin flames do, in a way, need to come together. How that is going to happen, I don't know, because they form the core monad, and that's going back to the start because we've been separated. And that's also what ignites our memories. But again, that might happen in many different ways for different people. Not everybody resonates with this. This is not everybody's journey, not everybody's co-creation. We all have different experiences within the big experience. But again, the twin flames do carry the core instruction sets for the morphogenetic field, our DNA. And so basically original blueprints. And as well, they're here really to anchor these new relationship patterns and templates and blueprints and how we relate to one another with all of life everywhere. And totally healing the divide, the gender split, victimizer consciousness, all these fallen realities and matrices fully dissolving now because the divine unions are happening already at higher level, all locked in. So it's just a question of how this rolls out now. I don't know why the whole twin flame thing makes me cry, and I haven't even thought about this ever. I have never tried to research it. It just blocked it. I just blocked it. Honestly, emotions that I don't understand. Yeah, fun. Yeah. Now, when you truly access that, it can be really, really overwhelming, very overwhelming emotions. And yeah, it's a lot to take. So that's what you're possibly tuning into. And that's also what the masculine is very afraid of. And I think the feminine as well. And again, we both have these energies within us, and they're always reflected. Okay, we just might represent whatever's being triggered with one another, and these energies from opposite ends of the scale. So, one with neediness, the other one with running away, that kind of thing. But that's what we're all totally dissolving now, where they are both meeting each other in the 0 point field in total equality, and there's no more push-pull, and there is none of this stuff running anymore. Okay? Because they're meeting each other as equals, and there is no one superior or inferior. And that's what they're anchoring here. That's the new templates. Because the competition and jealousy that's also been reflected in the moment in the field, or in general, which I also said is really goes back to the original split and the fall of the royal families within Lyra is competition and jealousy. If you think of any of the stories and royalty or the Egyptian timelines or anything of this, it's within the families. It's about power. It's about all of that stuff. So there is no one here in power. There's no one here the boss. We're all the boss. We're all sovereign. And we're all co-creating this here together. But there's some people carrying more responsibility. It always will be the case, so to say. We all have different responsibilities and now mission upgrades that will come in. And we will be very busy. It will be very interesting. Yeah, there is a lot coming in. So enjoy the wait, enjoy the relaxation as long as you still have it. I don't think it will be much longer. As I said, I get the message, pack your bags. So my twin flame still got me blocked and still refuses to talk to me after 3 years of no contact. Why? Now, my question to you will be, do you really believe it's your true twin flame? You need to ask yourself that. At this point, again, everybody can just answer for themselves, but there has been a lot of shifts where people are realizing they might have not been aligned with the right twin flame. And you really need to know this from within yourself. I don't think this should be a wholly one-sided experience whatsoever. That you have maybe issues with both of you, working through things. But as long as there is some kind of forth and back and some kind of, willingness from both sides to work on things, I don't know, at this point, because you also need to make a really clear statement of what you want and don't want in your reality. Like I made very clear statements in my reality. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. If they, display this and this behavior, I don't want that in my reality. Because you need to be very clear about what you want and what you don't want in your reality. Because if you still have that kind of fallen template running, then you might just still keep seeing and have that reflected within you. You need to say from deep within you that that's not what you want in your reality. Otherwise, you're allowing it and you're co-creating it because you're giving it your consent. Because never mind that you understand why they may be doing it, and maybe they're even confused, but ultimately what's meant to be will be. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And right now, big decision points, and everybody needs to choose right now what they really want, what they don't want. If you know he is, okay? And you need to really believe in your inner guidance. That's beyond anything what anyone says, okay? Don't go to any psychics, nothing to tell you whether he's the one or not. You need to know. I know, but ultimately, again, only you can know. All right, this goes beyond. I would recommend go into a meditative space, but really you need to be neutrality, okay? You need to just clear out what your personal ego will wants, all right? And see if you can connect from your higher self to his higher self. I would do it, or what I sometimes do would be like kind of as if you can knock on someone's door and see if they want to open it or not. And then if they let you open and go in, you kind of can sit down and have a conversation with them. But you need to really trust what you're getting. But you speak from higher self to higher self, because the problem is that sometimes still in a 3D level, you have a lot of distortions and interference running. But right now, I know those who are really anchoring these divine union templates, they need to fully trust what they're getting right now is happening at a multidimensional level. because that's what's making it all happening. But everybody's at a different level, and everybody has, again, different things they need to bring in right now. But I would really, one thing, you don't chase love. You don't. That's not what love is. Okay, so you focus on you. That's the biggest thing about the whole thing. Doesn't matter who it is, what it is, twin flames, soulmates, anyone, anything. You don't chase it. You focus on you. You focus on self-love. You focus on your own integration, your own ascension. Because this is all the other person is just helping you to integrate all you still need to integrate, your multidimensional self, all the missing pieces, and unify within yourself so that you don't feel like you need someone else to fill a hole in you. The other person is just going to make you more of what you already are, but it's not as if they're filling something within you that's missing as such. Although the twin flame journey is a lot about missing, it's like a both end. It's like as if something is missing, but it's not as if, they need to fill a hole, because nobody can fill holes that are there of like, you don't love yourself enough, okay? Which is what twin flame journeys will bring up, or anyone again, in that matter. Anywhere we don't love ourselves, or still, lack, doubt, insecurities, all of that. Focus on you, focus on self-love. Yeah. Focus on your inner journey. Everything else will happen from there. All right. Don't focus on the other person. They're just helping you to see what you still need to see. Keep pulling it within. It's with anyone, everything. Whenever we get triggered, what's my piece here? What do I still need to integrate? What do I still need to heal? They're just helping you. So however painful it is, that's the alchemization. Instead of us letting it close our heart, we go deeper and deeper to alchemize the pain. And this, what also the twin flames have been accessing right now, is this original pain of separation, to fully heal it. Because again, we're going back to the start. You need to fully access it and heal it, to remember and to really help heal your heart. But it's like Rumi said a little bit, you have to keep breaking your heart open until it heals. So it's not someone else doing it to you, you see, because it's really perception that makes our heart break. The way we see things, because we take things personally. It's not personal. If you're, obviously, this is not about not having responsibility when we are behaving like assholes, okay? Of like, it's, it's, if you're affected, then it's your fault. No, that's not the thing here. That's the whole thing. We need to be really like clear of how do you want to be treated. That's sending out a signal. You carry a template and belief system in your whole field of what you're allowing and not allowing. And the twin flames have been badly plagued by allowing really shitty behavior. And that is not what this is about. Boundaries, yes. Standards, yes. Knowing your worth, yes. Now, and from those that are more on a narcissistic spectrum of that twin flame journey, they're literally just, overcompensating from what they're lacking from deep within. It's the same thing, really. Because anyone with a healthy sense of self-worth and confidence doesn't need to pretend or feels less. You don't feel less or more. That's really at the quintessence here, okay, of all of this bullshit. People feel more or less, having more or less, inequality, envy, competition, jealousy, all this bullshit. And there's enough for everyone. Everybody's unique. And it literally comes back to loving yourself and healing the trauma. And new earth is here. Et voila. Hence, that's our worth. That's what we're here for. And then obviously overwriting, co-creating new earth realities. Okay, so you don't get stuck in your trauma and your drama. You need to know how to transmute it and turn it into gold and turn it into opening your heart ever wider, because that's what's unlocking your gifts and abilities. And that's what we're here for. We're here to make it happen through claiming our gifts, abilities, and power, which is us standing in our true self, which is us activating our DNA, which is us activating the universal tree of life and music of the spheres, which is activating new earth And a morphogenetic field, us healing our template is healing the tribal shield. It's all happening. It's all locked in. It's all good, people. You're all good. Just trying to help a little bit more. I hope it's been helping. I think we've been talking enough. 1 hour 24 already. Anything else you want to talk into existence? Infinite abundance, because we are abundant and we're projecting this out now. We no longer feel less or more than anyone else. Nothing to prove here, nothing to show off, nothing to force, only to dream and flow with, and now have fun with and co-create from that space and that energy. Because all the shit has been cleared, the decks have been cleared, just evaporating now. See that in your field. And just focus on your happiness as much as you can. What makes you happy? And everything will come from that frequency. Have you ever been in love and on a really high vibe or really good, something good is just happening? Everything flows, doesn't it? Everything just comes to you because you're on that high frequency. But obviously, you first of all need to clear all that which is not that frequency, which is what we've been busy doing here. Because faking it is not going to make it. No. But whilst we're going through the crap, we just know that it's just part of it, okay? And you just know better times are coming and this too shall pass. But you need to be with it without falling into despair and know how to shift things, shift your energy, help yourself, use your tools, make it as easy and go as quickly as possible. And that helps the flow state helps you do that, where you don't resist or cling on to thing anymore. That's the non-attachment, okay? And it doesn't mean we can't dream or desire or whatever. It's just we don't hold on to it for dear life. We just know whatever is meant for us will come to us, will not pass us by, but we also need to know when to make it happen. It's all of these things. And we need to know when to do what. And opening those crystal hearts is the absolute core of all of this right now. So it's really us, even though we've been through all the shit, it's really opening up and knowing who to connect to with the right people and seeing ourselves living already with our soul tribe and tuning into those realities that we know we are here to anchor and activate and ignite from deep within us now. Really. So let's do this, sing it, paint it, let's dream our realities into being. Let's ignite a new diamond grid and know that it is already so. 144 does confirm. Asamarena sekera shataraya. Kukurate. Kayanata. True twin flames support each other in times of question and or weakness. There is an access. Yeah, especially at a higher level. It's unconditional love. It's not criticism and heartache. It feels very different. It's more, instead of heartache, it's heart joy, even if you're not together. Because you know, ultimately they are a part of you, but they're not really ever, they've always been around you. That's the whole thing. But tune into that energy at higher frequency if there's, not that person in your life right now. And connect with that. Because it's so much about telepathic connection and also about what we get at a higher dimensional level. Because in general, for anyone, that's what we're bringing in here. So when we believe what we see beyond our two eyesight and through our psychic vision and our dreams and our guidance and our, these visions, that's what manifests. It's the DMT that's also being secreted naturally by us. That's also what manifests these higher realities in our reality. So, and when you see, if you've ever been like on a mushroom trip, like you sometimes see, the geometries that are coming in, that's what literally, you have geometries beyond what you're seeing here now. That's also why sometimes you can see, when we go in higher frequencies, like faces and trees and everywhere, because everything is consciousness. And I do believe, some of the mountains we see out there that look like dragons, they probably, I don't know, will pop up as dragons again. These are money gatekeepers, we see in stones and rocks around us and in nature. So this is literally us. And the unicorns, the mer people, all the magical kingdoms, that's so much coming online. It's literally coming online from within us, but only if we believe in it again. As the inner child is being birthed within the Holy Trinity, this is also what brings it online, but only if we believe it. So, and these past life memories are really, it's all parallel. That's what you need to understand. All the timelines, all of your incarnational selves, it's all happening now, all merging. So you're merging in the now, always, with whatever you want to merge with. This is quantum, especially now, because we've really transcended time. Especially those of us who have transcended it within our own field, obviously. Everybody's at a different stage, but we have gone fully super quantum. And it's now for us to fully leap and access those energies by igniting them from within and knowing that we're doing this. So think Mandela effect, think shape-shifting realities, think history shifting. We are here to remember the true history again, which is also held within the crystalline caverns and crystalline network within our own body. And that's what activates the true memories, the true golden timelines, the true memories we're here to bring online again, the good ones. And we're deleting the bad, false memories, fallen timelines. Kaboof. Okay? So I think I'll probably leave it like at that. We had enough today. But yeah, our empathic, our superpowers, the feeling is what manifests things. All of these powers and gifts and abilities, it's what's manifesting our realities. And the twin flames carry very important keys and codes, the Adenic keys and codes within their blueprint, also connected to the cosmic dragon and Grail queens and kings, because it's the blueprints they hold. Okay, and however we want to relate with that, and we all have that. Okay, we just have different levels of awareness, different keys and codes. It's for you to figure out what you're here to bring. Ultimately, nobody needs to know about it but you. So see what you're here to bring. Dragons, let the dragons rise. Yeah, we're making the unseen seen. So the invisible visible and the impossible possible. Should be my slogan. But that is basically what we're here for. All from the inside out. So let's do this. Let's be the change. Also, if you can support me with a donation, the details are below. I very much do appreciate it. As everything I share freely, and I very much depend on the support to keep doing what I'm doing. And it very much, helps me to also know that I'm also supported back as I'm trying to support you guys. Also like, share, subscribe, comment if you like, and you already have done. So thank you so much, guys, for everyone who have been here. I might do very, very quick light language. Just a few words, just for the field. As we dream our new earth realities into being, available right now, all unlocked from deep within us in our DNA, and in quantum time codes, unlocking all new organic ascension realities now, from within and all around us. Isara sakera shkenakere inasuna eakeke arashana teake. Nainane. Na era. Kokok ai ishkina etara e na. Kuye. Esutere. Kinakara askara eke kinakara tukuna shaketara sata. Kokuna eke. Kastana date. Ke una ke ana ke ana ke ana ke ana ke ana ke. Ushuna yena ke ake. Kana ke rase. Ananayuna ye. Ayunae asi, unanae akini, unae nae, usunante kanaye nasu. Ekinane sanane nake unaye euna esuana ekayete naye esunaye nekana ye ukuna are shikanate kekena ko ushkaraye ara kayena ete su ai kara iku a ishuka ke inase ke anakeke o ara esena tatayana sistayana kasayana tatayana yekina su shukura ane tere asaranaye ure nara kayana kera sukura shatere ayana keake koyana se takana kekekina una. Dissolving the last veil of forgetfulness, all delusions and illusions, all forms of separation. Ekanata sha ekayekenaka kokonase tara de enasa kokonakea kakarasa. Esukera kayanata. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I made you dance. Good, good for you. So much love to you all. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Mike. So thank you all, everybody, for listening. Neil, Camille, all of you, thank you so much for being here now. Thank you for keep on shining the light, being the rainbow bridge. Literally, that's what we're doing right now, bridging from the old to the new through us, through our own transformation, igniting that from deep within. Okay? So let's keep doing the beautiful work. Let's make it fun, because I think we're all ready for some fun and some really good things to happen now. And believing is seeing. All right. So thank you all. I love you. And thank you for all your support in all ways, shapes, and forms. And so much is going to come now. I can just see it's a whole magical world that we're stepping into now and that we're activating. So it's like your wildest dreams fulfilled and just constantly happening. That's what I see. Let's see how quickly and how this all pans out. Okay. And I love you so much. Thank you all for your presence. Thank you all for being here now. And thank you for being you. Keep being that and being the change and being the love that makes the change happen and that heals all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye. Love you.